Welcome to Fur Lining Garments 101. This is our first one. This is about placement of fur and cutting of fur and placement on an actual garment to fake fur lining. Okay, my name is Tim Nally in the Society for Creative Anachronisms. My name is Mordok Timofeyevich Rustovskaya. I'm a Russian costuming laurel and I do fur. So this is a very early period post-Viking Russian garment. It's double-breasted. Put a pin here, is what I usually do. But the reason why I have this is because it shows fur placement. This started off life as 3 gray fox pelts. So what you do is, this is the very center of the back right here. Thickest fur, nicest looking fur, next to your face. That's where you want to put it. As you can see, right here it's joined, and that's the thinnest part. You take a comb and you rough that up and the fur comes out and you can hardly tell there's a stitch. Down around here it's all thick, thick, thick. Towards the back, that's where you put your crappy fur, your thinnest fur, the belly fur. That's where you put it, right at the very bottom, in the bottom of your caftan or your hanger rock, whatever you're going to do, your houppelande. That's where you put your crappy furs, at the bottom of the back or on the sleeves. And as you can tell from this is some pretty crappy fur. But no one ever pays attention to that.
Why is it crappy?
Because it's thinner. This is along the sides, along the ribs. The stuff in the back is along the belly. It gets a lot more wear because things lay down, and fox are just like dogs. They lay on their bellies a lot, just like your dog at home. Okay, now this is something that's interlined, much more complicated. This is basically a T-tunic with extra long sleeves and split down the center. Anyone can make one of these. If you have a nice T-tunic out of brocade or whatever, you can make a caftan. And that's what I tell people. But the reason why I have this is because this also shows placement of fur. This was the remains of a long weight coat. I used the best fur for around a collar. You can see here where it's joined. These are the 2 pieces right here along the chest, which are always good fur on any fur coat. And I use those for the collar because it frames your face. People look at faces more than they look at anything else. Now along the inside edge, if I were to wear this, this would be right down the outside. It weighs it down. And on the inside, I have some reasonably crappy fur. See how this is thin? This is right at the very, if this is on the animal, it would be right along here. Almost to the belly, just short of the ribs. Crappy fur. The belly, crappy fur. I put this on the inner lining because mostly it's not going to show. If you peel it back and you sew it down like this, actually like that, and sew it down.
Show me that again, Tim. Sew it like what?
Okay, if you have this fur and you twist it in and sew it down, all this is a running stitch. It means all that fur is like this, so it looks thicker. It's a furrier's trick. I've just used it on a historical costume. It makes it look like it's fur-lined. I have the better fur right to cuffs. See? That's along the back. And here, which is the collar, I have the crappy fur in the back, which you can see. It's much thinner. When I wear it, it's lined with red. Very Russian color. Not that that would really matter to you guys if you're doing Western European, but this is what it looks like on. And the only reason why I put it on is so you can see the inner lining. Now, if you can't see the red, it looks like this thing is fur lined, and it's not. It's a layer of cotton twill to line it, and it's a layer of upholstery brocade, very lightweight. I've worn this in July in Ohio.
Now, cheating like that, quote unquote cheating, to just line the edges is historically accurate as well, right?
Yes, it is. Now, if you want a fully fur-lined coat, what they did was they had something really cheap like squirrel on the inside, because the dense fur, but it's a very light napped fur, very lightweight. These things get real heavy when you line them with a heavy fur, which is the next thing I want to show you. Lining something completely with a heavy fur. This is a garment that's lined in a heavy fur. This thing weighs about 10 pounds, like armor. It feels like armor, actually. I'm a former fighter. It feels exactly the same. This is lined in raccoon with a collar of beaver. Now, if I were to turn this inside out, here's a sleeve. And there's another sleeve in here somewhere. Oh, it's on the other side. Here's a sleeve. Here's a sleeve. Here's a completely fur-lined garment. This is a size 8 raccoon coat and a size 10 raccoon coat, and towards the bottom in the center is another raccoon pelt, because I ran out of raccoon. These are two coats that are joined together, and a beaver pelt that's used as the collar.
Where'd you get the raccoon pelt at, Fred? The raccoon coats at, Tim?
The raccoon coats I got on eBay, and they came from Quebec. The best time to buy those are in the beginning of the summer when people are saving for vacation, and right after Christmas when people are sweating the load on their credit card bills, because no one's bidding on eBay. You can get fur coats for cheap. These are coats that were hanging in Grandma's closet for God knows how many years, and their grandchildren sold them off. This is the best way to get fur coats for this. Now, this thing's fully lined. If I throw it on the ground, you're going to see exactly how this thing was made. The original coat is right here. This is the size 8 coat right here. Now, if you look really close, you're going to see a strip of fur that's discolored that is not like these colors. And the reason why is because that is a piece that I pieced in there to widen out the back. Because I'm not a size 8. I'm a chunky, middle-aged guy who's not a size 8. But I don't want to freeze. So you expand the back between the shoulders. From the collar on down. That's how you expand one of these coats. And a fur-lined coat will have turn-ins, about 3 inches worth of turn-ins. And when you take the lining off of them, those turn-ins can either expand it in the front, or you can cut them off, sew them together long ways, and put them right down your back to expand the shoulders and the width of your coat. And that's exactly what I did here. Now this is your size 10 coat. Right here you can see this is a lot lighter weight fur. Look at this. How thick that is. I wanted that up around my upper body. Look how thick that is. When I go like this, it still has a lot of undercoat under there. Now here, not the case. You can almost